please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's log. Subdates 23031 4.6. D. Orkta has begun extraction and tells me that he'll have to make Bork a brand new anus. I have ordered him not to make that a priority and simply fit him with an ostomy bag. The ship inside his bum is vastly more important. Hello everyone, welcome to This Week at Twitter. Again, or twat. Basically, I have extra stuff from last week and I don't really want to be seen wasting topics. But also, owing to a friend visiting, it was the easiest thing I could readily make for Tuesday. How exciting. To start, let's work our way in gently. Would you eat 6 donuts? Included is an image of how many donuts are in your drink, each showing various forms of sugar-loaded beverage, and how many donuts are in them. The short answer is yes, because I don't do fizzy drinks. But could I change the donuts for better ones? Those look like crap and a bit dry. And I tend to agree with an Anne with an E. Is this a trick question? Because it certainly feels like a trick question. I do like the idea though that someone's put this up there for other customers to see or other people to see as a warning sign that if you consume 20 ounces of soda, it's totally not Coca-Cola though based on the bottle shape design and well red. Yeah, no, it's not that at all. No, that's lilt. Yes. That all that sugar would somehow deter people. No, it really won't. Now, as the image from the tweet was from 2019, we're going to go ahead to something a bit more current. Hashtag I stand with J.K. Rowling was trending. The lines in the sand concerning J.K. Rowling, Hogwarts legacy, in fact anything Harry Potter, are well and truly drawn. A number of people are refusing to budge or see sense. A level of irreparable logic being applied and solely using feels rather than understanding the original argument, which deviates so much from what the people think now. The people. Some people. A couple of the tweets within the trending tag itself include Blair White, who tweeted, I am transgender and I stand with J.K. Rowling. Her books were a fundamental part of my childhood. As adult, she is just as inspiring to me, exemplifying how to stand against the mob and never bend the knee. Thank you at J.K. Rowling. She wasn't ratioed, so you can assume she got a considerable amount of support for this tweet. With one of my favourite responses to Blair being, do you think her books that had numerous spells cast on the reader or viewer were a reason for you being transgender? Reply from name I can't be asked to try and pronounce. Was likely the Polyjuice potion. Another tweet in the tag though. Sturgeon, Nicola Sturgeon, the current First Minister of Scotland, gender reform bill sent this man, a rapist, into a woman's prison because he identified as a woman. The only thing for her to do was to resign. Whatever her brand of feminism, it's not the one I want. Nor for that matter her brand of science. Hashtag I stand with J.K. Rowling. The gender reform bill can be considered the straw that broke the camel's back and well and truly ruined the remainder of her career. Other tweets within the tag highlighted J.K. Rowling's charitable works. For example, helping 103 female judges and their families whose lives were at risk to then escape Afghanistan. Then also pointing out that another feminist's version of feminism campaigns for vulnerable women to strip for grubby men. So the tag My Kind of Feminist was also doing its rounds. But then you have others who blame J.K. Rowling for other people being unalived, holding her accountable. For example, J.K. Rowling unalived a girl, her name was Brianna Gay. Rowling did not act alone, but Brianna is not the only victim. I won't get involved in the semantics of those who identify as trans and how others will simply say you're a guy anyway. That's not the part I'm interested in. The idea that you blame someone for unaliving when they were not involved in it, that is a form of guilt by association where you have clutched at any straw you can to try and create the necessary degrees of separation to lump the blame on the original person you think committed the crime. I'm starting to understand why people like India Willoughby, who had to write an entire piece for The Independent, had to wait all day for it to be approved by legal. India Willoughby is obsessed with J.K. Rowling, by the way. It's getting to a point where it's almost unbearable. If it weren't for copyright, I'd be playing the blanks cover of The Facts of Life. It's a really good song. I think what we need now is a palate cleanser, but the kind that is more visceral in response. The kind that will make you question your life choices, whether lives should matter, and whether or not I should simply end you all now. Or this person more notably. Because yes, we're doing some Americans Ruin Everything. As you can see from the video on the screen, the gentleman has taken a rather delicious looking steak and added Kool-Aid to the recipe. My view on this is simple. You don't really need much on that steak because it's delicious without anything else. If you want to apply other things, by all means do so, but Kool-Aid is not really in the top 1 million ingredients you should consider. So yes, he's effectively made something that is and should be a death sentence, and whether truly blasphemous by nature and heretical, I should exterminate the entire fucking planet. Next, there are some creators out there that I didn't realize were still around. Not that I'd want them to stop in the first place, but not only did I not realize they were still around, but I didn't realize that they had branched out a little with characters, which sometimes can make it a tad tricky to tell when they're being sincere or when they are being a bit edgy as part of a character. Take for example the Amazing Atheist. Last time I checked on his channel, I could have sworn he had over 1 million subscribers. Clearly he's rubbed people up the wrong way over the years, but also being the career contrarian that he is, and a bit of a nihilist. I don't think he'd ever deny that. His views reflect that change. Understandably so. Although a few months ago I heard he'd made a video about how he created the anti-SJW genre. That's interesting. I never knew who created it, but I'm glad someone's taking credit for it. That's fantastic. I'm very happy for him. Ripperverse Goalposts put out a tweet. Amazing Atheist wishes death on Andrew Tate and all of his followers. That, on the face of it, is a big red flag, a no-no as it were. You shouldn't be publishing that on Twitter because if you wish death on someone, you could get into a lot of trouble. There's a video to include it though. We'll play that in a moment after I've read one reply. I mean, I don't like Andrew Tater Tots, but how can a nihilist like TJ condemn him? After all, isn't it all meaningless? A good person has no more worth than a bad person, which pretty much sums up how I've often considered TJ Kirk, which is also what I thought his channel name was. I think he may have gone back to Amazing Atheist as a brand. So about that video, I'm going to play it. It's King TJ Kirk at the moment, I believe, his royal thickness of sorts. Yes.
Motherfucker, I'm fine with it. You know, I mean, that. What are you fucking supposed to do? You're supposed to see if you're a fucking little ass kid and you actually are like listening to Andrew Tate and taking that motherfucker seriously, yeah, you're damn right. You're damn right that motherfucker needs someone watching him. That's at least Marilyn Manson had a positive message at the end of the day. Andrew Tate is just like a fucking capitalist nightmare demon pig from the fucking anus of hell. So that piece of shit. I hope he dies of lung cancer in jail, and anyone who listens to him, as far as I'm concerned, they can go right down to hell with him and burn for eternity.
TP20. This guy is getting more and more radical by the day. What is going on with him? I would assume it's whatever he takes during and before the stream that makes him bob so much, to be so volatile and reactive. Again though, just an assumption. It's also possible that he's just taken reductio ad absurdum and thought, well, if I'm going to get yeeted off YouTube, I'm going to get yeeted off YouTube. All the while he references Andrew Tate's capitalism, he's reaping benefit from donations in his chat. How's that capitalism taste? I actually love that part. As far as the vitriol towards Andrew Tate goes, please don't wish death on other people. I know with TJ, a lot of the time it comes across as someone who just wants someone to yeet him off YouTube or give him a strike, as if that's the only way he's going to get some kind of kick in life these days. I fully understand that. Perhaps instead, don't. You are arguably better than that. By all means though, disregard my advice, as I was somebody that was once considered an anti-SJW. Therefore, a skeptic clone nobody. Shalingala. Animals are not steaks, wings, nuggets, burgers, eggs, milk, wallets, purses, belts, shoes, jackets, rugs, chairs, performers, equipment, security, experiments, machines, laborers, taxis, actors, trophies, nuisances, prizes, gamblers. And breathe. Animals are worthy, sentient, individuals deserving love. Hashtag go vegan. Understandably, when you put something out like this on Twitter, you are going to get shit. Then again, you're Vice President for International Lab Methods at PETA. It was obviously bait. But I'm going to go with the response from Miguel Metro. Well, of course they don't start out that way, you silly goose. I will argue the most obvious thing that could have been in that tweet is not there. bacon. The fact it's not there means I will never take this tweet seriously, but for the sake of it, we can certainly have a serious discussion about what animals are and are not. The problem with any kind of discussion like that is it invariably becomes circular logic, with cheap gotcha moments instead of actual discussion, and that would apply to even someone like myself. Knowing that in advance, it would go that way. But I did see another tweet tangibly connected. The cartoon loon. Do vegans actually think meat eaters don't know where bacon comes from? Included is an image from The Vegan Project. Think about who is on the other end of your purchase. As you can see, a Visa card, a pig in one end, bacon the other. We all know where bacon comes from, and we all know the correct way to cook it. Things like this will not change our minds, because the pig as an animal is, for the majority of a vast number of countries, an animal that is consumed in its entirety. Very little of it is ever wasted. There are many other animals where that is not the same, and yet they are farmed anyway because of the meaty content usually. Additionally, this kind of propaganda will only start rumors that beef comes from cows, and that, like, eggs come from chickens. Do I need to continue? Like, you can't be spreading this kind of propaganda. It almost breaches terms of service on every platform. YetiYef. Thoughts? Image. Resumes including they-them pronouns are more likely to be overlooked, new report finds. In an article written by Ashton Jackson, Discordia retweeted this with, unsurprising. Any declarations of pronouns tells people you're an ideologue who is likely to spend your time causing trouble for the company rather than doing the job required. Reply from Caffeinated Kitsune. What can any of us say that hasn't already been said at this point? Activism comes at a price. Just make sure it's one you're able to pay and do so willingly. There is a point there. If you want people to respect your identity, that's fine, but when you go into the workforce, your identity means very little in the majority of occupations. You're there to do something to make money, and make the company money. I don't think it's overly complicated, yet others might take issue with it. The final thing I'd like to look at was tweeted by Michael Deacon, who tweeted, outstanding, and then replied to his own tweet with what happened to positivity about my body. Accompanying it are two images. My husband used to be hot. If I met him now, would I still fancy him? Molly Gunn met her husband when she was 23. Over 2 decades and 3 children later, she gives a very honest account of the challenges of married life. This sounds like Jada Pinkett Smith talking about her sex life and cheating on Will in front of Will. I wonder if Will Smith came to the realization that his frustrations that led to him slapping Chris Rock was entirely based on things like that. The second image, Molly Gunn. I was body shamed by trolls after writing that my husband used to be hot. After a story I wrote last week went viral on Twitter, there was an outpouring of solidarity for my husband and a lot of hate for me. What happened to body positivity? The thing is, you shamed your husband. You then put it on the internet, and Twitter, being the black-pilled cesspit that it is, saw what you did and went, nah, you're getting a paste in the bitch. What did you think would happen? The internet was going to shame you. They were going to go in on you because you basically crapped on your partner for life for an article. To highlight what? Nothing really. How sad is your life? And can you actually tell anyone you were surprised you got crap for being crap? Your husband's not unattractive, by the way. It's called getting old. And he doesn't look that bad, considering he's been with a shrew for over 20 years.